Rolando featured video was no shock when he started to mash Grisha up. They who recruit him to the up party when he jumped from the USB. They make him leader, saying how he bright. He shining in the sky like a satellite. He had to resign at Parliament chair when Theo decide he don't want him there. With more deception, they appoint Grisha as Parliament chair and the new leader. Rolando punishment will go to Parliament. Sit and hush your mouth, don't make no comment. After all the videos by the nightclub, they realize he's an embarrassment. Grisha say he insulted all women when he make the comment, woman again. On that comment, I will say the truth, but when he say you're dumb, he only meant you. They running the country on top Facebook. It's time we start call a spade a spade. Everybody got in their own cook. It's time we start call a spade a spade. What you say? Too bad. Good gosh. So?
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okay, kids, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news of Parliament today. First of all, what is going on? All right. So, remember, majority of Parliament wants to get rid of the chairperson of Parliament, which is, of course, Grisha Martin, who continues to be the worst president of Parliament in St. Martin history. Right? Good. Now, she convened a meeting today of Parliament dealing with the annual accounts of government and not her removal as the president of Parliament. Understand the reason why she had to call the meeting was because an urgent meeting of Parliament was requested by 8 members of Parliament, requesting for her to step down, requesting for her to call a meeting so that she can be removed. And of course, as a typical person who continues to only think of herself, as a typical person who continues to just go like, nope, I'm not going to fire myself, therefore I am going to stall. St. Martin is not a real place. In any case, she just acted like the meeting was, like the meeting request wasn't in, so the youngest member of Parliament, which is of course William Marlin, decided to say something about this abuse of power. I'd like that. Take a look.
There is a majority in Parliament, in writing, have requested an urgent meeting, and in this case, it is to relieve the chair of her services as chair, her responsibilities as chair. Yes, it is something that affects the chair personally, and rather than deal with it in a professional and dignified manner, the chair is constantly moving the goalposts in order to protect themselves, because the Constitution says meetings are convened by the chair. So the chair feels that this gives the chair the opportunity the opportunity to just keep avoiding this meeting and moving the meeting to a further date and a further date and a further date. Today, the agenda has been changed. There is an opportunity to squeeze the meeting in, but there is an opportunity to squeeze the meeting in any time, because I doubt the meeting itself would last, the agenda point would last as long as I have been speaking now. Madam Chair, I hope you will correct this and see that we cannot continue this way. It is just a few days ago we bid farewell to a governor who was there for 12 years, and there was nothing but praise for the manner in which he conducted himself, and it would be a pity that we would have to resort to other measures or means to get the chair to vacate. There is a majority. It's not a position that someone has been elected to. It's a position that we have elected someone in here to. It is not the public that elected the chair. It is members of parliament. And if a majority says they no longer want to maintain you as chair, then the rightful thing to do is to just vacate the chair. I thank you.
Okay, so after William speak, you know, Aunty Sarah had to get up and Aunty Sarah had to say something that makes absolutely no sense at all. It was like Grisha was watching the Aunty Sarah like, save me, please, save me. However, Aunty Sarah, that was not it. But anyway, this is what she said.
Check the elucidation to the change that was made to the rules of order to relieve a chairperson of his or her duties at any time. Check the elucidation to that. It states that, yeah, that might be necessary in the case of a government change. That's what it states. Paraphrasing it, of course. But Madam Chairlady, we members of Parliament, the people of St. Martin, are expected to have taken note of a declaration signed on the 30th of June, a statement by the coalition leaders regarding what this government is doing in order to show their support in Parliament. Not a next word. Not a next word. But we need to accept that there's something happening in government, some shifting taking place, and we need, again, just like in the case of the budget, we need to sit back and wait when the government is going to tell us what are they doing. What is this review of the governing program going to be like? You see, Madam Chair, I'm sure there are members in here who would love to jump up and ask the chair whether this is a third round. And I challenge them to do so. Thank you, Madam Chair Lady.
So now, after you heard two members speak, MP Brison coming in from the back and decided to basically echo the sentiments of MP William Marlin. And yeah, it was good. Napoleon was really, really, really good, I must say.
When I hear the level of hypocrisy that is spewed before me, knowing what we had to endure at the time with a UD chair that would let a minister of health dodge meeting after meeting after meeting just because one of her coalition members wanted to bring a motion against him and talks about the neutrality of the chair and the chair not following a coalition? Madam Chair, it is a very simple thing. First of all, with interruptions, that's absolutely not true. The rules of order state that interruptions are to be allowed by means of an interruption, which can be a point of order or a proposal of order. That's in the rules of order, very clearly. Okay? Second of all, proposals of order can be presented by members of Parliament and Madam Chair, as was stated. In the middle of the recess, a faction presented a proposal of order for a meeting that also had to take maybe 10 minutes, just to send some questions to the Council of Advice. And that proposal of order to add an agenda point for a meeting that was already scheduled, already underway, to remove a minister, a motion of confidence, was not met with a gavel being hit and storming out. It was met with a gavel saying that me adjourn so that I can create the voting list, and the proposal was to be voted on, because that did not interest the individual who was sitting at the chair at the time. And that is something we have to be realistic about. We cannot pretend like there's not a double standard being done here. I have been very clear. This is the absolute last resort of a situation of where I would want to be in. But my thing is not to put the interest of one individual over every single other person in this country. That can't be. And if we want to talk about rules of order, many amendments to the rules of order have been proposed, including to resolve these sort of issues, and it's clear. Regarding the removal of the chair and the elucidation, it states an example For example, if there's a change of government. It did not say that it is exclusively only if there is a change. That rules of order was changed to adjust the chair for whatever reason if there is a majority that requests that. Nothing about change of government. A total irrelevant stuff from people who came to me when the chair was sending letters without their permission to Curacao. Come to me, boy, when you're going back on as chair. But today they want to pretend like they're defending you. Madam Chair, these people have zero interest in you or your performance as chair. They don't care. They care about causing chaos and confusion. Now, Madam Chair, I just ask sincerely, like I've done personally, like I've done even earlier this week, please reconsider this trajectory you're going on and truly put Swaliga first. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Brison. Before we continue with the other notifications, I would like to adjourn this meeting for 5 minutes.
Okay, so of course she was upset. She adjourned the meeting, but she didn't storm out eloquently. No, she didn't storm out eloquently. This time around, she went in her office, and she must have went in her office, and she just must be like, I know I put those papers somewhere. These people think that they're going to mess with me. Short leprechaun. You know what? And then she's like, oh, I'm writing the paper. And then she came back. And when she came back, she started back the meeting, and she was like, you see for yourself.
Welcome back, members of Parliament. After our brief deliberation, it was clear that the two requests for the agenda point that was placed on the proposal that was placed to have during the 12.5% meeting to relieve the chair, that meeting will be honored in 4 days, this coming Monday at 10 a.m. And as I open that meeting, I will honor the request for the proposal of order. And the meeting based on the UV, the letter that I written to the 8 members requesting to, based on the discussion I had with MP Brison, that meeting will be honored in the week of the 24th. So seemingly the dates were crossed because I did mention in my first letter that on the 11th I will be honoring the first meeting, the urgent meeting that the 8 members requested, not the 12th, the 11th. And I called one of the requesters stating that we could not honor that meeting on the 11th because it was the day after the solemn meeting, and that the requester then stated, do not honor the meeting this week. Per his request, that meeting was not honored this week and has been moved to the next meeting week. However, the 12.5% meeting where I adjourned will be honored on October 17th at 10 a.m. Now with that, members of Parliament, let's continue with the work of the people.
So, the meeting is set for Monday. And you know what I don't understand? Why do we have to have a public meeting so that you can be voted out as chair? When you could just simply resign and then we don't have no problem, we just continue our day because we don't care who's the chairperson of Parliament. It doesn't matter. No. We care who the Prime Minister is, and you know how great job she's doing, but that's a different show. In any case, please.
Let's continue with the work of the people.
All right, let's wait and see what happens. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
Are you ready to represent your side as JW3 Jam Where We Want presents Versus Part 2? Who are you rolling with? A head-to-head battle of rhythm, bass, and drive, all in one night, featuring from AXA Anguilla, latest and Exodus HD.
Say it with your chest, oh yes!
And from Sugar City Sing Kicks, none other than Grandmasters. With a round 1 matchup of St. Martin's very own official band,
The Kingston
versus No Limit.
Impressive.
Plus DJ Big Boss and Maestro versus King Kimbe and Sexer. It all goes down at APS Parking Lot, also known as Tellem's Parking Lot, on Saturday, October 22nd from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Tickets are $15 for early bird, $20 in advance, and more at the gate. Tickets are available via the K-Band app. Picture the studio on the Bush Road and at Van Dorp in Madam Estate. JW3 on Saturday, October 22nd presents Versus Part 2. Who you rolling with?
Flawless victory.